So let's start about moment of inertia. So see guys, whenever we talk about moment of inertia, we give symbol I. So first of all, what is moment of inertia? How will you feel this? Actually, it is very easy. Suppose if you have a bucket. In this bucket you have 5 kg water, and if you have another bucket, suppose in this bucket you have suppose imagine 70 kg water. So how will you feel this bucket and this bucket? When you will take them, when you will lift them, then you will experience this one is heavier. So if this one is heavier, then you can easily judge, okay, this mass is more. Maybe you may not make sure that okay, what is the mass, but you can judge which one is heavier, so which is having more mass. So in same way, moment of inertia plays a great role in rotation. Actually, suppose you have any sphere, and this sphere, suppose you have another sphere, and you are applying 5 Newton force here and 5 Newton force here to revolve the sphere like this. So actually, which sphere you can revolve easily, that sphere will have less moment of inertia, and which sphere you can revolve, I mean you have to put more effort, like by 5 Newton it will not revolve, so it means it is having more moment of inertia. So actually, what is the meaning of moment of inertia? So suppose if you have any random object, and if you want to rotate any random object, then this rotation is easier or tough for you. It depends on the moment of inertia. So suppose you are rotating this object about this axis. So about this axis, your moment of inertia you have to calculate. We have several ways to calculate moment of inertia. So first way is the basic concept of moment of inertia. From that we get a formula. That formula is I AR square. This is the basic. Or there is another formula, another way. You can apply perpendicular axis theorem and parallel axis theorem. So these two are advanced, but first we'll go for the basic one. Now come back to the original topic of moment of inertia. Actually, when you are revolving something, then this object may revolve easily, or it may take some time. I mean, it may not revolve easily. So how will you decide that? That we decide by moment of inertia. So moment of inertia is the inherent property of any material, by virtue of which this material can easily rotate, or it may rotate with some difficulty. I mean, and at the same time, if something is rotating easily, then it will stop easily, and if something is rotating with a lot of effort, then it will not stop easily. It will stop after a lot of effort. It's like there are some people, they don't get angry easily, but once they get angry now, it takes so much time them to calm down. And in same way, there are some people, they get angry 24 times in 24 hours, and in every next hour they will cool down. So in their moment of inertia is very less. You can see like this. Okay, how will you find out moment of inertia? So see, we have two types of moment of inertia. One is mass moment of inertia, and one is area moment of inertia. What is the meaning? Suppose if you have any object here, it has mass m and radius r, and it is revolving like this on circular path. So rotation is coming into picture, so this will be having a moment of inertia, that I is equal to mr square. So this is the fundamental, very basic formula to find out moment of inertia. In same way, if you have any area, and this area, and if this area is revolving, then we can find out the suppose this area is revolving around the axis, so we can find out by using AR square. What change we are doing? Only m we are replacing with the area. Actually, in real life, rotation is possible only because of either mass or the area. So one example for the mass. See, you put the ceiling, you put the string, put the bob here, and you take the bob here. So because of mass, this kind of rotation will come into picture. And what about the area one? Okay, again it is very easy. Suppose, you know, if you remember in village time, they used to have one hand fan like this, hand fan. So when there is no power, they used to use this fan, and here hollow cylinder will be there, and they will hold this side, and then they will rotate this. So actually here rotation is coming because of this area. Or just an opposite case, imagine Imagine you have a flag here, flag board. Now air is hitting the flag board. So because of that, this flag will turn in this direction. So again turning is coming. Why turning is coming? Is it because of the mass? No, this is because of the area. If there is no area, this will not turn. So that's why here object is turning, revolving because of mass. Here object is turning and revolving because of area. So that's why we have two ways. So in our subject, when we will enter to the vibration, there will be finding out moment of inertia because of mass. But before that, for bending, torsion, SFD, BMD will have moment of inertia, that is because of the area of the beam section and column section, those things. So our job is to remember some moment of inertias, that how to find out the moment of inertia. So for that you have to do what is perpendicular axis theorem and what is parallel axis theorem. So see guys, suppose you have any plate like this. Now in this plate, here you have its center of mass. So from the center of mass, any axis is passing. So you can see here any axis is passing. So there will be lot of axis passing through the center of mass. Like there can be one more axis passing through center of mass. There can be one more axis passing through center of mass. So one type of moment of inertia is about that axis which is passing through center of mass. I is a symbol for moment of inertia. Cm means this axis is passing through center of mass. It means because of that only your object is revolving. It means like this. Okay. Now see. Sometimes moment of inertia we give according to their axis name also. Suppose if this axis is x, then I will say Ix. Okay, now next. Suppose if you have any cylinder or any object, and this object is revolving around x-axis like this, then moment of inertia is Ix. And suppose the same object is revolving around this axis, suppose this is y-axis, then the moment of inertia, suppose calculated Iy. What will be the moment of inertia of the axis which is perpendicular to the plate, and if the plate will rotate like this? So then that time we call as Iz. Iz is nothing but Ix plus Iy. Now see what is common in this. All the axes are passing through center of mass. Okay, and what is next interesting part? All the three axes are perpendicular. What is next interesting part? These two axes are lying in same plane, Ix and Iy. Ix and Iy. That's why they are giving us another third plane. Okay, perpendicular to both. Now next, this where to apply this theorem? You will apply this theorem if and only if you know the moment of inertia about x-axis, you know about y-axis, and you have to find out about z-axis. So whenever we are finding out moment of inertia about perpendicular axis which is perpendicular to the plane like this, that we call as polar moment of inertia. So this z is nothing but polar. So when I'll be teaching you torsion, that time this name will come properly. Now see, some tricks I will give you. Trick is when you have a ring. So moment of inertia, when the ring is revolving around its own axis, then your moment of inertia will be mr square. And imagine your ring is converting into disc. Disc means solid, like 1 rupees coin. And you got your axis about this perpendicular axis passing center of mass. Your moment of inertia will be mr square by 2. mr square by 2. Now you have a trick. What is the trick? You write d like this. So d for division. Okay, so DISC. So D for division, and this is nothing but you take the mirror image of this 2, right? So divide by 2, mr square by 2. Now next beautiful thing, you can replace this m with a, replace this m with a if it is for the area moment of inertia. Now you remember. Next thing, if you have cylinder, So suppose this is hollow cylinder and another cylinder. Suppose this is solid cylinder. So if hollow cylinder you see from this side, and it is nothing but look like circle, so same formula will transfer to hollow cylinder. But if you look from this side, it is a solid thing, it is a complete part, so it is disc, so same formula will transfer to this. And what kind of axis we are talking? Axis which is passing through the center of mass. Okay, in not any other, only passing through center of mass. Okay, so this is about this thing: ring, disc, hollow cylinder, solid cylinder. After that, one more thing you have to tackle, very special for you. If you have any rectangle and this rectangle is revolving around this axis, okay, so suppose this is my B, this is my D. Okay, now another case. In another case, your disc is revolving around this axis, I mean your plate is around that axis. So see, again I am saying this is B, this is D. Only remember how to find out. Suppose either your I will be BD cube by 12 or your I will be DB cube by 12. Trick is, which axis is being cut? I mean your B is being cut or your D is being cut. So if you are finding out this I about this axis, suppose I am giving name IX. So IX is equal to who is being cut? The D length is being cut. So cut means cube, D cube, and remaining B by 12. And suppose in this direction, who is being cut? So it is revolving like this. So you say as IY. Just imagine. So this is IB. I mean B cube. So B cube, B is being cut. So DB cube by 12. I will change the page again. See, my point is, imagine this is 3 meter and this is 4 meter and this is a rectangle, and I want to find out moment of inertia about this axis. Okay, so this axis, suppose the name is Y, so you have to find out IY. How will you find out IY? Which section you are cutting? So you are cutting 3, so 3 cube and this 4, so 4 into 3 cube. Now just opposite, so by 12. Now next, if you are not bothering about this axis, if you are talking about this axis and rotation is like this, so this time suppose X, so IX, so this time 4 is being cut, so 4 cube and here 3 divided by 12. See the difference in both. Here you have 3 cube, here you have 4 cube, and it means what? You got moment of inertia about both the axis. What if I am interested into moment of inertia about any perpendicular axis, which is Z axis? So very simple, add both the answers. IZ is equal to IY plus IX. This is only known as perpendicular axis theorem. Why? Because all the three axes are perpendicular to each other. Okay, now we go for parallel axis theorem. Very easy. Suppose you have a plate and there is one axis passing through the center of mass, and this plate is rotating about this center of mass axis. So I am saying moment of inertia is ICM. Suppose this is given data, that moment of inertia is about center of mass. Okay, ICM. Now I want to know that what if from here at certain distance about this axis plate has to rotate. It means what? This portion will rotate like this and this portion will follow like this, right? It means like this your body is rotating. Are you getting how? Like this. Like this your body is traveling, rotating. So see here, now your center of mass itself is revolving. Now your center of mass itself is revolving. It is not fixed. So axis itself is revolving. So it means what? You need moment of inertia about its center of mass also, and you also need moment of inertia, some extra moment of inertia. Why? So your final about this axis, you say if you want to find out I, so your I is nothing but I center of mass. It means this its own. So this if you're finding out its own, it is nothing but either BD cube by 12 or dB cube by 12. This concept you will apply to find out ICM. After that, plus you have to write area into gap square. So which area and which gap I am talking? I am talking area about the plate, and which gap? Gap between both the axes. I mean gap between this axis and this axis, or you say this axis and this axis, or you say this and this, all are same, or you say this and this axis. That is the gap. I mean gap between two parallel axes. So this theorem is known as parallel axis theorem. Where you can apply this? When both the axes are parallel to each other. I mean when known axis which is passing through center of mass, this must be known, and you are going to find out the unknown axis. So your known axis and your unknown axis, they both are parallel to each other. That's why you are saying parallel axis theorem. Okay, so this was about moment of inertia.